So today I am going to be doing a Crash of Cars map tier list. I am going to be ranking every single map in Crash of Cars. Yeah, I'm going to be giving my opinions on each map, starting off with Raptor Ridge. This is the brand new map that came out with the update, this newest update. I like Raptor Ridge. It's more one of those maps, that you kind of chill on. It's not really one of those brawling maps. But it's a fine map. I'm gonna give it B tier. It's a pretty cool map. Has some pretty cool designs. But it is probably going to be pretty forgettable in the future. Like a year or so, it's probably gonna be completely forgettable. Nobody's gonna be remembering Raptor Ridge. Mine, however, is a really good map. I honestly might give mine S tier. I actually really like playing on the mine. I think it's a really cool map. Really cool design, and also the train just makes it really fun. Yeah, overall, I just love the mine. I think it's a really good map. I don't think there's any hitting. There is a hitting car. There's the mine cart, which is a pretty cool hitting car, but it kind of sucks if you don't have friends. So, it's a really good map though. Probably one of my favorites to play on. It's just such a good map. Jungle is also gonna get S tier. There's the what? Oh, there we go. It wasn't letting me put it in S tier. I don't know. It has a really cool design. It's also like one of the biggest maps in the game. Like it is absolutely huge. Also, the totem hitting car is on the map, and it's such a cool hitting car to try to get because it's really hard, but it's so much fun to try to get that car. Also, pretty infuriating if you don't get it in the first few tries, but overall, just a really good map. It's one of the best maps if you're trying to, like, grind really high scores. Overall, it's a really good map. I do like the jungle. Sweet Fields is this big candy-themed map. I mean, I say big, but it's kind of just decent-sized. There's actually some things interesting about the mine that I will acknowledge. First of all, King Jelly, the boss King Jelly, spawns on the Sweet Fields, which is pretty cool, I can't lie. And also the Big Slice car, which you have to, collect a bunch of, these cake pieces. And if you get, like, I think it's 100 of them, or something like that, you can get, the Big Slice car. When it comes to the actual map itself, though, outside of those features, it has a cool design, but I don't see myself playing on the map a whole lot. I do like a lot of the, special features about the Sweet Fields, though, and I still feel like it's probably going to be A tier. Not a map that I play on a whole lot, but it still deserves credit. Now we have the, we have the Winterland map. Now, the Winterland is one of the Christmas maps. The Winterland is probably the better of the two Christmas maps. I do like playing on the Winterland. It's a pretty fun map. You can also get the snowmobile and the UFO on that map, which is pretty cool. And then overall, it has a pretty nice and playable layout, which is what a lot of other maps in the game lack. Is that they lack like a playable layout. But I feel like the Winterland's layout is very playable. And interesting. So yeah, I think we're gonna give the Winterland like an A tier. It's not S tier quite, but it's still a very good map. Atlantis. Honestly, I rarely ever play on the Atlantis. I just kind of find it to be boring to play on the Atlantis. I mean, there's that thing, there's that thing in the center, that you can, like, go on, and it'll, like, speed you up, which is kind of cool. I don't know what that thing is called, and I could not tell you, but, it is that thing, which, if you play the game, you know what I'm talking about. It's a fine map. I don't see myself playing it that often. In fact, I never play it. Like, if there's any other map, I usually play it over the Atlantis. I give it like a C tier. It's not terrible, but it's not really a map that I play on a whole lot. Sky Garden, you can get the magic carpet hitting car, and there's those door portals. But that's about all the map has going for it, as most of the other stuff about the map is just not that good. It's not a very playable map. And overall, it just kind of just exists. Like, let's be honest here, nobody plays on the Sky Garden. It's probably one of the most empty maps in the game. I don't know if it's quite like an F tier map, but it's gonna get a D tier. I'm just not a fan of the Sky Garden. It's just not that good. Blitz mode, the Blitz mode map. It works good for Blitz mode. Blitz mode is literally about the brawling. All the constant fighting, and I think it does good with that. I think it was a pretty good choice of a map for Blitz mode. If you like to brawl, if you like to fight a lot, and you're just looking for an extremely fast-paced experience, it's a good map. I give it A tier. It's also a pretty good map for grinding too. So yeah, I like the Blitz mode map. Dungeon, come on, it's S tier. You can make some cool friends, just chill, just have a good time. Or, you can go and fight the Mega Phantom and the Ultra Phantom bosses. Overall, it's a good map. There's also some people on the map that can ruin your day, but, that's with every map. Overall, I like the dungeon. I think every single person, though, would probably put it in S tier, though. It's, like, the most loved map in the game. And for a pretty decent reason. Golf course is F tier. It is one of my least favorite maps in the game. I hate it. I hate the golf course. If there's any map in this game that I actively avoid, it is the golf course. I hate it. Not only is golfing just extremely boring, like in real life, I'm sure it probably is. The whole map is annoying. It's not really that playable at all. The only time I would ever even consider playing this map is maybe in, like, Capture the Flag. I feel like it's a good map for Capture the Flag, but in every other scenario, it is a map that I would actively avoid. I just hate the golf course. Yeah, you can get, like, the golf badge. I don't remember what it's called, but you can get that badge. That's true. But I still hate every bit of the map. It is, in my opinion, one of the most unplayable maps in the game. I just absolutely despise it. No. Hollows, probably the better of the two Halloween maps. It's a pretty playable map, and also, we have the pumpkin badge that you can get, and also the pumpkin hitting car. Overall, it's a pretty fun map. It's a pretty playable map as well. Overall, I think I'll give it A tier. Also, I'm gonna bump Sweetfields down to B tier, by the way. Because I decided that maybe it's best. Maybe it's better at B tier than it is at A. Hot Springs. I like the layout of Hot Springs a lot. But I'll be honest with you, Hot Springs isn't really that playable. It's a pretty good map if you just want to chill, and not really fight. But overall, it's just not really that good of a map, honestly. It's fine if you just wanted to chill, but it's just not really that playable of a map. I think I'll give it, like, C tier. It's okay. Construction, honestly, I'm not sure how much of a hot take this is, but I actually really like the construction map. It's cool. There's the cranes, which those are pretty annoying, sure, but it is what makes the map interesting and stands out from the rest of the map, and from the rest of the other maps. It makes it more interesting and unique. I also really like using Speedboat on construction. Like, Speedboat is probably one of my favorite fusion cars, and it is so good on construction. Yeah, I really like construction. Might be a hot take, but I think I'm honestly gonna give construction A tier because I really like construction. And the gorge, I mean, it's a pretty basic map. It's, eh. I think I'll give it like C tier. There's not really much to say about it, although you can get the Phantom hidden car there. So that is true, but I don't know. It just feels kind of empty, and it's not really a map that I ever play on. It's not terrible, but it's not a map that I could see myself playing in that often. Castle is an S tier. Castle is a classic. I remember there used to be a glitch years ago, where at the castle arena where you could just get stuck there, and it would just never end. The castle arena would just never open back up, so you could just stay there and farm crowds for hours, just in there by yourself. It was great. I don't think it happens anymore though, but it was great. I believe there was the first time I ever got 500 crowds was using that glitch like 4 years ago or something. But just besides that, it's a great map. It's a great map for fighting. Also the arena is so good. The music also is like so good. Probably has the best music of any map in the game. It's also the cannons that shoot you across the map. Those ones are pretty fun. And there's also the Royal Wagon hidden card too. Overall, there's just so much on the map, and it's so cool. Such a good map. Easy S tier. Stadium is also gonna get S tier, but not for the reason you think. I think it probably is for the reason you think. High scores. That's it. High scores is just such high scores are such an important part of the game, and they are so much easier on Stadium, especially when we talk about getting the high score badges. Because you can just play Crash Ball over and over and over again and really rack up those crowns, especially in offline mode. Just a really good map. I will say it doesn't get kind of boring after a while, but I mean, if you're a big grinder, Stadium is a good map for grinding crowds. It's S tier. Mansion. I mean, it's interesting because you can like fall through the floor and stuff, which is kind of cool. And the doors that teleport you, but that's kind of basic at this point. I mean, it's not the worst map, but it's definitely not as good as Hollows. It's okay. It's just fine. I'm gonna give it like C tier. Not a map that I return to that often, but it's far from the worst in the game. Frozen Vale, I'm gonna be real with you here. Frozen Vale kinda sucks. I remember in old Crash of Cars years ago, I don't know how many people remember this, but years ago there used to be a train. The train, but you could actually ride the train, and it would go around the train tracks, and it was insanely overpowered. You could kill so many people, but they just got rid of it and never brought it back, and that sucks. Now the map just is kind of empty. And I just don't find it as enjoyable anymore. Yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna give it like D tier. She's just mad. I don't like it at all. It just doesn't hit the same. It's probably better for people that did not experience the train, but I did, and it just never felt the same again. Not a fan. Volcano, I think that the volcano is one of those interesting maps. The whole volcanic eruption thing is really cool, but at the same time, the map is extremely unplayable. Because there's all those hills. They have to climb up. To come up to the volcano, it's annoying. Like, the only saving grace for it is the fact that the volcanic eruption is pretty cool. But it's not a good map for like high score grinding at all. If you high score grinding, volcano is one of the last maps you're gonna pick. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. I think I'll give it like C tier. Yeah, I'll keep it a C tier for now. I might decrease it to D tier later, but I'll give it a C tier for now. Hypergrid. I actually remember when Hypergrid first came out, which is kind of interesting because I've played the game for almost like 7 years at this point. Maybe even longer. I don't remember. I've played for a long time. I would have to check my app store though to see how long I've played it. That's been like July 2017, I think, when I downloaded it. So that's something. Anyway, I remember when this map first came out. It was pretty cool then, and it's still pretty cool now. Honestly, I gotta give it S tier. It is a great map for brawling. It was also for a long time one of the only maps with health pickups. Actually, isn't it still the only map with health pickups? I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is still. So that's interesting. And overall, it's a very good map for brawling and fighting. It's also one of the more popular maps, and for a good reason. Whenever I look at the maps list and Hypergrid is on there, I usually will probably click on Hypergrid because it's just a fun map. It also does the Hypercar hidden card too, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I like Hypergrid. It's cool. Fortune Harbor is a pretty good map for brawling. And honestly, I've kind of grown to like it in recent years. I used to not like it that much, but I kind of have come around to it. It's a very good map for brawling. If you're in a custom match with someone else, you should definitely pick Fortune Harbor to fight them because it's a pretty good map for brawling. I think it's a pretty good map. I don't know if it's quite going to be an S tier map because I don't think I like it as much as some of these other ones up here. But I'll give it an A tier. It's a pretty good map. Nero was also going to get A tier. It's basic, but I just really like it. Honestly, it just has such a cool design that I just really like to play on it. I think a lot of the earlier maps, while they may not have had anything super cool, like abilities-wise, or anything that makes them stand out, they're just really playable and cool maps. Maybe the Gorge is not one of those examples, but it is for a lot of the other ones. The desert. Again, I feel the same way about the desert. It's honestly like an A-tier map. I find it to be fun. It's basic, yes, but I just find that fun. Plus, you can find the Sphinx and the Mummy hitting car on it. Which is cool. You can find 2 hitting cars. I believe it's the only map. No, I think Desert and Winterland are the only 2 maps that have 2 hitting cars. Unless I'm just stupid and forgot one. But I don't think so. So yeah, I like Desert. Facility. I mean, the hitting car is pretty cool. And, there's also like the railgun thing that strikes every now and then, which is pretty cool. But I do find that it's a bit boring. And also, like, a bit annoying. There's worse maps. There's better maps. I'll give it B tier. It's not a map that I return to a whole lot, but it's not really a map that I have anything hostile to say. It's just fine. The lounge. Honestly, I like the lounge. I mean, you can find part of the UFO hitting car here. It has an interesting concept, but it is very hard for me to play on it sometimes because there's just so much going on. It is a cool design though, but it's just not a map I find myself playing that often. It's kind of like the facility. I don't have much negative to say about it, but I don't really have too many positive things to say about it either. It just kind of exists. I will say though, the area on top of the couch you can get on, that's pretty cool. And finally, the final map is the water park. Honestly, the water park is pretty good because, you know, I hate flamethrowers, so having no flame, or having, you know, flamethrowers being harder to use is a plus. Also, I just think the music on the water park is pretty good. Pretty good music. Overall, I enjoy the water park. I think it's honestly might be S tier. Honestly, I actually think it's just such a fun map to play on. Maybe A tier actually. Maybe A tier. I don't know if it's quite S tier, but it's still a very fun map. So yeah, this is my maps tier list. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I feel like some of these might be controversial picks. Like I don't see many people talking about how good the desert is. Or how bad Frozen Vale is, or I actually may not, or actually, there might be a lot of people that disagree with me putting Golf Course in F, but, you know, whatever, this is just my opinion, and, yeah, bye.